name is Lori, and if you can't guess from the accent, I live in the South, North Carolina, as a matter of fact. I was recently diagnosed with an impacted wisdom tooth on my right side with a cyst on it. And the reason I'm doing this video is because there doesn't seem to be a lot of information out there about this type of diagnosis. I looked on YouTube. There's all kinds of videos about getting your wisdom teeth out and having impacted wisdom teeth from people who have been through the surgeries, also with nerve damage from these surgeries. But nobody has put a video on there about having an impacted wisdom tooth and a cyst removed in the surgery. I did find a couple of videos that, from a dental perspective on these, but not from people who have actually been through the surgery. So I was thinking that maybe there's some other people out there, like me, that may have been diagnosed with this and would want to know what is going on. So my diagnosis was accidental. I just went for a routine dental checkup. They did a panoramic x-ray, and the cyst showed up on the impacted wisdom tooth. I knew I had this impacted wisdom tooth. I'd known it basically all my life. My dentist had told me to not remove it as long as it didn't bother me, because it was so deeply impacted that it would be more problematic to remove it than to leave it. So that was how I had lived. And then during this checkup, they find this cyst, and I'm told that it has to be removed. So I'm sent for a consultation with an oral surgeon, and apparently standard medical procedure is to remove the tooth along with the cyst. In my case, I was told that this would result in a broken jawbone as well as permanent nerve damage. So as you can guess, I wasn't too happy to hear that. So I left that consultation and decided, well, basically I was freaking out, of course, for about a week or so, and then I convinced myself that that surgeon was a quack and I was going to get a second opinion. So I went for a search on oral surgeons. I checked the reviews, made another appointment, and went to another consultation. He looked at the x-rays and basically told me the same thing, that I had no choice but to remove this cyst. Apparently, leaving these cysts can cause all kinds of problems. The cyst replaces the jawbone. It can cause your jaw to spontaneously fracture. And worst of all, it can even turn into cancer, which is called ameloblastoma. So I told him what the first surgeon had told me, and that I wasn't too crazy about that. And he said that he was going to try a conservative approach. So what he's going to try to do is remove the cyst and leave the tooth alone. This may not work, because apparently these cysts are caused and made up of the same cells as the crown of the impacted wisdom tooth. So he said he may have to remove the crown of the tooth as well. Then he would kill the nerve and leave the roots in my jaw. So I asked him if he had seen anybody's situation that was worse than mine. He said he had only seen one case that was worse than mine. Apparently the roots of my wisdom tooth are deep in my jawbone and touch the bottom point of the jawbone. The fellow who was worse than me, roots actually protruded below the bottom point of his jawbone. I said, well, how did that situation turn out? He said, well, I had to do a coronectomy and remove the crown of his tooth. I said, how much jawbone did he have left? And he said, it was minimal, and he's going to have to be really careful what he eats for a while. I said, well, what's been the result? And he said, well, it's still ongoing because we just did the surgery not that long ago. So he told me he could not make me any promises, that he would do the best he can, and I trust him. I believe he will do the best that he can. I'm really nervous and worried about it because I don't know what I'm going to be waking up to after the anesthesia wears off. I'm also going to have this wisdom tooth pulled, which did come in, but it has a huge cavity in it now. It's so far back in my mouth that it's developed a cavity. So that one's going to be pulled at the same time. The surgery's going to last about an hour and a half. He's made me no promises, so whether I will wake up from anesthesia with a broken jaw or not, I don't know. I don't feel as bad about the nerve damage now with his method and what he says he's going to do. I trust him, and if he goes that route, even if he has to remove the crown, the nerve should be okay. And by the way, these dentists, they act like nerve damage is no big deal. You know, it won't affect your talking, it won't affect the movements of your face. You just won't be able to feel anything on your jaw, your chin, or your lower lip. And they're like, that's no big deal. But to me, that is a big deal. And I feel like probably to a lot of you guys, that's a big deal too. I mean, if I want to be able to feel things touching my face, be able to feel hot and cold, you know. So to me, it's a big deal. But I feel pretty good about the nerve damage part. I am concerned about the jawbone. The other person was a male, and I kind of feel like males have a stronger jawbone than females, so maybe he had more bone there than I did. I really don't know. But the point of this is I'm going to take you through the journey. So I will come back and update this. I've got the surgery coming up in a couple of days. I'm really nervous about it, but I'll let you know how it goes and how I heal, just in case there are other people out there who have the same situation, the same diagnosis, and are searching for answers as I was. So tell it from a patient's perspective, and wish me luck, guys. Hopefully everything's going to go great, and I'll check back in with you later. Thanks.